Leaving. Program improvement has resulted in some students leaving Roseville High School. How many and where they're going? 100 years old. Roseville High School will be 100 years old next year, and centennial celebrations are expected. And Facebook attacked. One group is planning an attack on the social network site thousands of Roseville High School students use every day. We have the details on this and much more on this TigerCast News on this Monday, October 31st, 2011.
I'm Marian Abdul-Malik.
I'm Daniel Wetter. We lead our newscast today with new details on how many people are transferring out of Roseville High School due to the program improvement status deemed that way by the No Child Left Behind Act. According to Principal Brad Basham, 8 students have applied to leave Roseville High School for another district school.
They see the highest API scores are at Granite Bay, so they think that would be a better school. I'd put our top-end kids against their top-end kids. I'd put our kids against their kids any day.
He says this number is lower than last year's number of 14 students. Basham believes the school has plenty to offer despite its PI label.
I'm looking at what we've done over the last 6 years. The number of students who are meeting college readiness requirements, the A to G requirements, has doubled. The number of students who are taking an AP course and taking an AP test has almost tripled. Our API is over 800, which puts us in the top 20% of high schools in the state of California. We have a very competitive AP program with, we're offering usually I think it's 17 or 18 AP courses per year. We're still trying to expand that. So, you know, I don't think you could go wrong with any of the schools in the district. Yeah, Oakmont, Wood Creek, Granite Bay, Antelope, and Roseville High School are all great schools.
And now we'll turn it over to Marian for more on the Centennial.
In the planning phase, at least that's what RHS administration is saying at this point. There's less than a year before the festives begin. There are currently ideas of a community parade, open house, where the Roseville community can come and see how Roseville High School has changed and see memorabilia from different eras. And the possibility of a mini yearbook or video documentary depicting the history of the high school on the hill.
We could open the campus up for tours, and we would obviously have the campus decorated and have memorabilia out for the 100 years, so that as graduates come on, they can see things maybe from their decade. You know, for example, we could have each wing set up as a 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s theme, sort of, and that would be exciting. And then at the same time, they get to see how the campus has changed over time.
Student government teacher Lindsay Parker hosted a meeting in the library last week with parents and students to brainstorm ideas for the celebrations.
We now move on to other top stories. You may have noticed the clocks around campus were off by 3 to 4 minutes, and just a few days ago these clocks were calibrated once again after our parent organization, the Eye of the Tiger, investigated why the clocks were off. This wasn't the first time the clocks were off, and it had some students annoyed.
They just distract me from working on my schoolwork.
And they make you like if it's off, all you're doing is watching the clock, and then you think class is over, and you still have 5 more minutes, and it's just so annoying. It's
really quite annoying.
It's horrible.
And as you can see from this video, the clocks now match the time of RHS computers, which is the correct time, by the way. In other news, student unemployment is 32%, at least that's according to the amount of work permits now, compared to 2007. In 2007, there were approximately 500 work permits being used by RHS students. Compare that to just 340 permits last year. College and Career Center's Cindy Travasso says it's due to the economic recession.
It's dropped down a lot since the economy. I used to do a lot more. I'd say within the last few years, the numbers have gotten down lower.
She also said that if you are looking for a job, settling for anything is the way to go in these current economic conditions. We also want to make clear that that 32% number comes from the amount of permits which are only needed by students under the age of 18.
Switching topics, a sewer line was replaced near Hanson Field this last week. The line has backed up multiple times this year, and maintenance staff decided it would be more cost efficient to replace the line altogether. A water line is also being replaced near the restroom adjacent to the upper field. Now onto something we use every day and something that could be attacked. Anonymous, a notable hacking group which has successfully hacked Bank of America and Sony, has pledged to take down Facebook. They plan to do this on November 5th, just a few days from now. It is unknown whether it will be a successful attempt. We'll just have to wait and see.
Now, you may have heard some construction noises on campus, and no, it's not a new classroom. Well, it's a house. Take a look. You may not hear anything outside room 804, but something big is being built here.
We do the air conditioning and hammer the walls in together and everything else.
I've been working on the walls. I've worked on filling some of the walls. I've worked on the heating and air and AC stuff. Pretty much anything that they tell me to do, I'll do it.
Yes, these high school students are building a house which will be sold at the end of the year.
It's interesting. It has its ups and downs, but it teaches us really good teamwork skills. Like with everyone working with their own little groups, we're able to sort of come together and make sure to kind of, I don't know how to explain the right words, but it makes really good teamwork and building skills with each other, with all of us.
Not only does it teach them life skills, it teaches them a core academic class.
We build a house and at the same time we learn geometry, and right now the section we're on is trigonometry.
And Principal Brad Basham says it's a new type of hands-on learning where students get to do instead of just learning out of a textbook.
Probably the most important piece is I'm going to use the word marriage of a career technical education course with a core academic college prep course. That's kind of the direction that both the University of California and the California State University system is going, because it's important to give students the opportunity to apply firsthand what they've learned.
And sophomore Alex Kelly thought he would never be an experienced home builder coming out of high school.
No, never. It was a shocker to me when I heard about it last year. Truthfully, I never thought this is a goal, which is actually outstanding that we're doing this. But it's also very interesting to see a bunch of 16 and 15-year-olds actually, build a house.
And now we have your TigerCast Tiger Highlights.
I'm Jared Perry.
And I'm Mark Reese.
Here's this week's TigerCast Tiger Highlights.
On Friday, October 21st, the Roseville varsity football team played the Nevada Union Miners.
This was the first time in decades the Tigers made the trip up to Grass Valley.
The Tigers were blanked in the first quarter and trailed 23-8 going into half.
Roseville put up 22 points in the final two quarters, but fell short, losing to the score of 54-30.
The Tigers will host rival Granite Bay High School for the final game of the regular season after battling Del Oro High School tonight for their homecoming game.
Last Tuesday, our girls volleyball team took on the Granite Bay Grizzlies.
They fell short with a score of 3-0.
Their league record fell to 1-4.
In other news, the varsity boys water polo team ended their season with a disappointing loss to Oakmont.
The Tigers had a late 6-goal comeback, however, it wasn't enough to defeat the Vikings at their home pool.
The final score of the game was 13-12.
Stay classy, Roseville High School.
Until next time, stay thirsty, my friends.
And here's the score from Friday night's game against Del Oro.
And that wraps up our TigerCast. We want to thank you for watching and remind you our next TigerCast will be November 14th.
Also, remember to check us out online at eyeofthetigernews.com for the latest news in sports. Also, be sure to like us on Facebook. I'm Marian Abdul Malik.
And I'm Daniel Wetter. Thanks for watching TigerCast News.